Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Inspire Radio. You're here with Jack,
And Danny.
and we have a special guest joining us today on the show. So stay with us. Lee, thank you so much for coming on to the show. It's so nice to finally meet you.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to be here, Jack. I've heard good things about you.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, good, I heard though. But I just wanted to ask you the first question, Lee. I hear that you've been running your own business in Rockingham, carpeting and all that. How do you believe that you think that it's all working out for you so far? Do you feel nervous?
No, I'm quite excited about what's happened in the last 18 months. We've been very blessed by COVID in that people have stayed home and they've spent a lot of money on their flooring or their homes and making them pretty. And so we've benefited a lot out of that. So we're extremely busy, not complaining at all, really enjoying it.
Oh, that's good. And I'm really happy for you. I'm glad that you're getting a good kick out of it. You know, it's really good that you try new things because you never know until you give something a try because who knows, you might like it. But I'm glad that it's working out really well for you. And I also hear that you're also a big fan of sports as well.
Yes, I can occupy my time by watching as many sports as possible. Really do enjoy them as well.
Yes. I've read about the information on here, but I wanted to ask you myself what kind of sports you're into.
Okay. My main one would be AFL. I coached a lot of junior AFL, played a little bit when I was younger as well. So coached my children, and then they progressed on to a level where the teams didn't want me because I was a dad and they wanted professional coaches. And so I was a spectator for a while, and then I got back into coaching again a little bit later on. Did a little bit with cricket too, and that was because my daughter is an exceptional cricketer, and I didn't want to be the dad that just looked after the sons.
No.
So I coached her as well, and she did very well.
It's always important coaching people. Do your children get along with you really well at home? Like how much time do you like to spend with your children?
Well, it was full on. At one stage, I remember my wife and I sitting down with our diaries and having to plan where the kids were going for sport when they were young. But because all my kids are close together in age, they all got the license very quickly and they became very independent very quickly. And so off they went, and we weren't needed to get them to coaching and to classes and things like that anymore. So we still keep in contact with our children, but they have other things in their lives. 2 of them are married, and the third one is getting married not this January, but the following January. So they have other interests. They have other people that love them, and so that we don't need us as much. But I speak to them at least 3 times a week.
That's really nice. Congratulations on one of your children getting married, though. You must feel really happy for them.
Do indeed. And they pick good people too, which is very pleasing.
Yes. I do have a few favourite hobbies, sports of mine that I'm interested in that I wanted to tell you.
Sure.
So I'm interested professionally in hockey, basketball, also like a bit of baseball as well.
Okay. And do you follow particular teams?
Yes, so the main team that I go for is the Fremantle Dockers because I'm a Freo supporter because I grew up in Perth, but my main city's been around Fremantle. So I live at home with my family. I've got a brother of my own. We're twins.
Right.
His name's Ryan.
Yep.
And we're both the same age, 22.
Okay. Oh, you're 22. You're a youngster.
Yes. So I'm young, and people say I've got a good life ahead of me. That's because I do.
Yeah. So Fremantle Dockers. Now, I currently do development coaching in Peel Thunder, so we have a very good relationship with the Dockers. So we're looking forward to the new crop of young men that they've drafted to come and spend some time with us. So if you don't go to the Dockers game, go to the Peel game. You're bound to bump in with it to a Docker or two.
I suppose I could, give it a try, see how it goes.
Well, you're a multimedia megastar. I'm sure that people might recognise you down there.
Yeah. Well, I am. I don't know about Magnum. I can't be 100% certain on that. But what I do know is that I've achieved a lot in my life since I've came here, because I first started in February 2020.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So
with that, have you been recognised? Because this goes on YouTube, I believe, as well.
Yes, I have.
How was that?
By a few people, yes. And one thing before I knew, one thing led to another. And it was a remarkable achievement, really, because, you know, it meant a lot to me. It's not that often people get recognised, because it's a bit of a hard thing sometimes, because, you know, other people might feel nervous, not as comfortable as other people would feel. But once I did get recognised, it did actually feel really good. I feel like I'd finally come a long way, and my confidence has boosted me back since.
Yep.
And I'm incredibly proud of myself.
Well, that's handy. Not many people could say that.
Yeah, I know, and I understand that they can't because they feel nervous.
Yep.
So
That's
they have
right.
every right.
All right, then. So when I walked in, you asked me whether I was nervous. Do you get nervous still?
Well, I was in the beginning, because I first started here at Inspire Radio February 2020 with another support worker, Damien Stonehouse, but he had to go back up north to go live with his family permanently. So Danny and I have known each other for quite a while. For what it's worth, I do get nervous sometimes, but I'm very brave. I try not to let my nervous or my fears get the better of me.
Yeah, okay.
I was nervous at the start as well when they threw me in. Out of everyone, they chucked me in, and I was like a newer worker, and they still chucked me in. I was like, how am I going to do it? But after the first few times, I was like, okay, it's quite easy. It's not as grueling as you think. You forget about the cameras and stuff and just start talking. It's just like a normal conversation, you know. Yeah,
and if you enjoy people, you're halfway there, I think.
Yeah, because when Danny and I first met, when he did his first shift with me regarding the radio, I didn't know how he was going to take it at first. Thought, oh, what if he gets nervous and has second thoughts towards doing this? But he's actually achieved a lot in his life, and he's a remarkable young man for his age, because there's so much that we know about each other that we love as friends, because Danny and I both went to the same high school together.
Which was that?
Seaton Catholic College near Sampson Road. He left in about year 10, and I finished my last few years there with my brother.
Okay.
Quite a while ago, yeah. I know a few people that because I'm for life skills, which is in Spield, and we based around like learning skills and, you know, cleaning, cooking, and all that stuff. And so I know a few of them back from school, so it's quite interesting.
So let me tell you a story then.
Okay.
Because Tristan goes to the meeting where we met, Tristan and I met. I remember being there about 5 years ago when a gentleman walked in, and I won't use his name because hopefully you'll get to meet him at some stage. And he stood up and he had to give 30 seconds about his business and himself. And he had a piece of paper, he'd done all his prep work, he'd practiced it, and he stood up and he was shaking, and I was right next to him, shaking like a leaf. I couldn't read the paper. Shaking. Now, 5 years later, he stands up, off the cuff, doesn't need notes, very confident, puts his message out there, very clear, has a bit of a joke with a few people away. And so from being shaking to being very smooth, a little bit like yourself, you seem very smooth.
Yeah, I am, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, look at you. You got all the desk in front of you, getting the microphones right. And
yeah, I feel like a very professional person at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have to do it for him.
Yep.
Do a few things for him, but now, he just takes it over, especially on the interviews as well. I hardly even talk sometimes. He's always got something to talk about, always some angle on it.
And so you've got to have a good memory too to think, I need to talk about that. That's an interesting point. I'll come back to that.
It's good that you send us these little piece of paper, spin back.
But see, I'm only telling you what I want to tell you. I'm not telling you all the little secrets.
We got to wiggle.
You've got to wiggle. That's right. Yeah, you behave though, boys.
What Danny and I like to do is that if we're interviewing someone and if we know about it, we actually like to talk about questions, what we would like to ask the person in the car. We think of our own questions that we would like to ask the person, so we can have the questions all organised.
Sure.
I have one. You said that there was a little backstory to how that your business flooring business got started in Rockingham, Flooring Extra. How did that come about? Was that something?
Well, see, a long time ago, 30 years ago, I was a teacher. I was a primary school teacher, and wasn't very. I loved it, and that's probably why I keep coaching. But there wasn't a lot of money back then in it, and my daughter had just been bought, and my dad had the shop, which was called back then Churchill's Carpets, and he said, "Come and work for me." So I went and worked for him. So I left teaching with a brand new baby. I lived in Greenmount, which is by Midland. I used to drive down every day to come through, and started. And then within 9 years of that, my dad decided he didn't want to be involved with the GST or the tax, so I had to buy him out. So since then, I had another business partner that bought out as well, and then now I have a business partner called Michelle and Jamie. And so it's been a bit of a progress and a journey through to this point where we are with Flooring Extra.
Oh, yeah. But you're doing well. You said that COVID, people, they spend more time in the house, so they want to do up the house, which I've seen. And it's like people with weightlifting equipment as well and stuff like that. They've been trying to, sometimes you can't go to the gym and all that. So, you want to get all the amenities in your house because you're sort of stuck there, which is a bit. I haven't met anyone who's done well off it so far.
I feel sorry.
Different perspective of it.
Yeah, I feel sorry for those that are in hospitality or things like that, because that they did cop it. And I have a friend who is Anytime Fitness at Rockingham. Tim, he struggled for a while because no one could go to gym. So we didn't have that problem. We didn't have that situation. We very, very fortunate, very thankful for it. So it was good. So both Catholic schoolboys. What trouble did you get into then? Go on.
You mean when we first started high school? Or?
Yeah. Oh, well, all the way through.
Well, okay, so all the way through, me and my brother grew up in Siege, and it was a very remarkable, challenging time for us because, as of course, I knew that it was a new chapter in our lives. We were looking for a new start, but I got along well with friends. I was in this special needs department with all of my friends, and it took me a while to settle in because I knew it was my first day because I was just walking around the school trying to get my bearings of where to go. But everyone that I met was a really nice person deep down, and one of my teachers, Mrs. L, she doesn't work there anymore because she lost her job at Seton, but she had a really soft spot for me because I actually got to talk to her about a lot of things. I got to confide in her about a lot of things that were on my mind. So she was a bit of like in my own way, a bit like a sister to me, really, because we had a really good friendship at the time, and she was really good to talk to because my mum at home, my mum's Scottish, so my mum and I talk about a lot of things. So my family and I, seem to get along really well because we have different particular hobbies that we're interested in because my brother's a professional drummer.
Okay. Wow.
And he has his own rock band called Indigo Blaze. They're on Instagram. So if you get a chance to look, they're really famous. They've done some live shows, some live concerts, but I've seen them live at the Indian Ocean Bar Hotel, and I've got to tell you, they're pretty good.
I'm writing it down because I've got a shocking memory. So if I don't write it down,
that's all right.
Jack goes to watch them sometimes, and that you have a few cocktails and get to talk to some people that you know.
Yeah, because I do. I can even go up high with this chair now because all the fighting that I did with this chair was outrageous. It was all funded through NDIS, of course, because my mum and I have been having some troubled dealings with the NDIS, and it hasn't been pretty. It's actually been very difficult on the other hand because getting this chair I had to wait a few months, but my mum spoke to this person that she knew that she met really, and he's a really nice person. His name's Josh Wilson, a part of the MP. So she went to go see him, but then the next morning, I think she received a phone call saying that, "Oh, Mrs. Sharp, all the funding is available in your son's plan for his new wheelchair now," and that's all thanks to what Josh did, helping my mum. But everything that we've been through has been challenging. I won't lie to you.
Yeah. There's a lot of bureaucracy, isn't there? A lot of forms and paperwork.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, my family and I are pretty good because my brother's off to Kalgoorlie next year
Okay.
because he's actually leaving to go live there permanently.
Oh, this is the drummer.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll miss him, but I promised him that we could still stay in contact.
It's actually, that's one of the good things I think out of COVID is we've become used to communicating via things like Zoom and
Yes.
and meetings, where we've had some really good nights out where we've had a few drinks with friends of ours from the East Coast. You know, we call it pizza night, so they get a pizza and we get a pizza and we have a red wine and just talk like we were
On
in the
the
same
chat.
room. Yeah, on the
That's
chat
really
room.
sweet because,
Yeah.
you know, I know that COVID has been hard on each and every single one of us, but I've actually been really brave through this year, and I admit it's been hard for us, but I've been finding ways to keep myself occupied, and I often like to do a bit of reading, if you ask me.
Okay.
But we say that we've had it hard and we're all like, oh, COVID, but it's not even been here at all. We haven't even seen the half of it at all.
No.
I mean, place like England, Africa, places like that is just crazy. You can't leave your house for years.
Yeah.
Even Melbourne and stuff like that. And we're just like so lucky here.
Well, one of these good friends of ours was in Sydney, so we had that
That's
situation
one
where,
too,
I think we're very fortunate that we've locked everybody out,
yeah.
and I would be happy to continue to do that.
Yeah,
I don't wanna have-
Don't mind. I don't want to lock down. I mean, WA is so big. You can go up to Broome. You can go down to Esperance, and that's what I'm doing all the time. Just traveling. You know, you
Yeah.
can't get bored here. It's very hard. You create your own fun.
Yes.
And it's no.
Yeah, and sometimes it's good to open your eyes and go, wow, we do live in a pretty good spot.
Yes, we do. Danny actually went to Margaret River on the weekend and went with some of his friends. But I actually told him just before then when we were doing talking to ourselves, back when I was about 10 or 9, my family and I, we went on some trips and we've been to amazing places like America, Universal Studios, Disneyland, and we also been to some other cool places. I even gone to the Gold Coast when I was 6 with my family, so I've been to Queensland.
So what's your favourite overseas spot then?
My favourite overseas spot, if I had to pick, would probably be the Gold Coast.
Yeah. You enjoyed that?
Yeah.
And that was when you were 6?
Yeah, I even went to SeaWorld.
Okay.
How about you? Have you been back to? Because it says you're from Manchester. Because I was born in England as well.
Yeah.
How old were you when you came over here?
I was 8.
8. Yeah.
So
Around the
I
same.
had very, I don't have much recollection, of
Yeah.
just like being in another suburb.
Yeah, I guess.
But I have been back.
Yeah. All my family's there as well.
All
So
right. Yeah.
yeah, we went back like a year and a half ago, but lately, we haven't had the chance to. But I like it in England too. I like it different.
Yeah.
Feels different. I like to leave the milk outside, sort of thing.
Yeah. My wife loves European history, so we often go and look at castles and things like that.
Yeah, a lot of old stuff.
So we've been into the eastern part. So
Like Newark and stuff.
oh no, not England, in Europe itself.
In Europe.
Yeah, so
But
Latvia.
Oh,
all around there-
interesting.
All around there, it's very old as well. Yeah.
So that's and when you don't know the language, and I feel very lazy that I speak English and I'm expecting them to speak English to me, but
Yeah, you forget like that. Hey, you speak English, and then you forget that it's not all about us, and there's different languages too. But a lot of people do speak English around there. What sort of countries? Where in Europe were you going for the castles and stuff like that?
probably the most memorable one was Latvia. And that was interesting because we knew nothing and I had to rely. We got a driver, and the driver was excellent. We keep in contact with him. I think he's running for Parliament in Latvia, so he sends us some updated photos.
When
Interesting.
you go back, you'll be able to take your
El Presidente Chris, yeah. But my favourite spot, and I would go there again, if I win tonight, is it 80 million? If I win that, I'm off to Iceland.
Iceland.
Well, I've never been to Iceland before, but do you reckon it's pretty good?
Just different. No trees because it's kind of windswept or cold.
No.
And it's not super cold. The gentleman that we had a tour through explained that it was it gets cold, but not super freezing like you would expect because of the current that goes straight above Iceland. And he said, so while, yes, you get snow and you do get winds and that, and it does feel really cold, it's not as cold as, say, Greenland or so close to the Arctic you would expect it to be worse. But just interesting. They have these beliefs in elves and goblins and things like that. And I remember buying some independent...
I'm sorry, that's funny.
Yeah. Well,
it might be true. We don't know.
Well, I was in this shop and I was buying a CD for my son, some independent music. And I said to the young girl behind the counter, I said, so, ghosts and goblins, do you believe in them? And she went, oh, no, of course not. I said, well, where would they be on the island? She said, oh, they're all there.
Yeah.
So she didn't believe in them, but she knew where they were on the map of the island.
Oh, yeah. Did you go there and see? And
no, we were only a couple of days there, and I wish
we'd already been there, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that where they have the spas and it's in the ice, or is that the wrong places? The hot spas. And
they do have a hot spring there, but that's by a power station, so it's artificially made. But they do have hot springs like that.
So the power station's heating it up by accident.
No, what happens is they get the thermals, they drill into the ground, and then in the turbines they blow the hot water into this lake, and it heats it up. Oh. Blue Lake, it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't actually get to go there, and that's an argument my wife and I had.
Oh, yeah, I would have wanted to go there.
I would have wanted to go there.
Hot swim.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I've even got my own swimming pool at home, actually, so I try to get as much therapy as possible because now that my house is renovated, me and my mum try to go in it together.
Is it heated?
Yes, it is.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I can imagine going through winter, it being freezing.
Oh, no, I'll make sure that I don't, but it definitely is heated if you ask me. And we love every minute of it to be really healthy as much as possible because I've even done some really great things. I go to the gym twice a week as well on Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay. Which gym do you go to?
The gym that I go to is the Coburn Arc.
Oh, yes. Home of the Dockers.
Mm. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have seen the Dockers before at the Coburn Arc at the hydrotherapy pool. They were having a swim and I saw them come out, but they are pretty good.
Yeah.
But no, me and my family were pretty good together. Mm. But working at the radio is what makes me feel happily, truly.
So you on every day?
No, I'm only on from Wednesday from 12 till 3.
Okay. Mm. So I was fortunate to be able to get you.
Yeah, he loves an interview.
Yes.
He told me in the week. He's like,
I definitely do love my interviews because Danny and I message each other because we are friends on Facebook, really.
Mm. Yeah.
He gets to see my pictures.
So, okay. Oh, well, I probably could get you some interesting people. I did mention to Tris about one person that I think is an exceptional person that you might want to interview. And I only know him as Rob Dog, and he's a local councillor now for Baldivis. But he's a good young man.
Oh, a local councillor. Interesting.
Yeah. But you ask him about his history in terms of what he's done in the community. Forget the council a bit. He's just an inspiring person.
Well, I'd really love to meet him one day.
All right. I will reach out to him and get him to get the interview happening. He just puts in. He just doesn't want... Surprised me he became a councillor because he just did all the hard work but never asked for the recognition. Clubman of the Year at many different clubs he was at, from football clubs to T-ball clubs. So he's Rob.
Rob. I'll keep that name in mind.
So is it just football, or do you like soccer as well? Because that's the only other sport I can really relate to. So.
No, we've seen when I came out here.
Yeah.
So I am 56 now. So when I was 8, I walked up to the sports shed and I said, "Can I have a football, please?"
Yeah. I know. I have to call it soccer. Yeah, I want to call it football, but no one will get it.
But even they didn't have any soccer balls back then. They gave me a football, and that was it. So I had to learn from then on. I didn't mind it. It was okay. So but I come from Manchester, so I'm on the red side of town. So
yeah, you're at Manchester. Yeah.
know.
They're doing all right at the moment. So
I love Manchester. I know I've never been there before, but I've heard a bit about it. So I do love people that are from Manchester. And I'm so glad you are. I just wanted to ask you another quick question, Lee, if that's okay.
Sure.
How long have you did you originally enjoy being a coach, or was it hard in the beginning?
I probably enjoyed it because you could take someone and you get them at a certain point and see improvement. So that's probably why I enjoyed about it, whether it be sport or whether it was when I was teaching. I enjoyed someone moving from A to B and being successful in it. So plus my children were involved, so you had to give some time, because some people sit back and let other people do it, and I'm not one of those people. So.
And how old are your children, Will and Pierce?
Okay, Pierce is 30 years younger. So he's 26, and that would have to make Will 28.
Near the 20s.
And my daughter's just about to turn 30.
oh, yeah. So
All close together.
sprouted up now.
Yep.
Yes.
I know I don't look that old. Nice of you to say that.
Yeah, no, I wasn't implying anything before you say anything. So.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing, Jack.
Yeah.
You got any more questions for us before we have to go?
No, I didn't get any of the bad things that you did at school, only the good things.
Yeah, I was
What?
about to say that's why I laughed so much.
Well,
Yeah.
I
They didn't like me. I was the blame kid. I got blamed for everything, and I did half of it, but I didn't. Near the end, I was trying to become a bit better. But certain teachers and certain parts of school I really liked. Like I was in a bit lower classes. For English, I was in like intro to ATAR because I didn't go over year 10, so I didn't get a chance to actually do the ATAR stuff. But some of the teachers just I didn't learn the way that they were teaching, so I couldn't correlate my learning to that. So some of them I really liked, some of them really didn't like me.
Yeah, and that's the trick. I can show you something on a bit of paper and you go, no. But if I walk you through it, you'll learn.
Yeah, and that's what they used to do in the lower class. So it was really, I would learn way more in that, and we would actually do things like taxes and stuff like that.
Yep.
Instead of learning about algebra and stuff I'm never going to use. Like, it's just, But that's sort of my experience. That's why I did TAFE courses. But
okay.
Now I've got a stable job, so it's...
So, right, Jack, what's the grand plan?
Yeah.
Right, you're not Inspire Radio forever. What are you going to do? You've got lots of tapes, lots of videos.
Well, down the track, what I'm planning to do, if things work out well here after that, I may be thinking about, doing like a local normal radio station, getting involved in one of those.
Yep.
Like if it was Mix 94.5 or Nova 937s, because that's my passion, what I've always believed in, and I've done a bit of research. But one of my other things that I would really like to try this year, and this isn't about music, my mum suggested this to me, it's something different.
Okay.
I maybe want to try speed dating next year.
Okay.
Yep, to see what woman I can go out on a date with.
Yeah, well, I've been married 33 years, Jack. I'd call you jets there, mate.
Yes.
Don't be in a hurry. I know.
I'm not rushing into anything, but my mum just suggested it to me for a suggestion, and I maybe took up her advice on it because it occurred to me that she did have a point.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I mean, you have the gift of the gab.
Yes.
You're confident enough to chat, so that's halfway there. If you can talk to someone, you're halfway there.
Yeah, and another thing I'm really interested in, Lee, to quote on that to tell you, is that I'm interested in art. I like doing things that involve, like drawings and paintings. I have even done a few art classes, and so far in high school, they've worked out really successfully.
Okay. All right. Maybe you get a package of things and send them off to some of these media stations.
Oh, I'm not sure, but I can try. I'll see what comes my way.
Yeah.
But I can just do one small step at a time. I'm not promising anybody anything huge. I'm just going to see what can happen and what I can achieve for this year.
So
that's all I can do.
Imagine then if it all takes off and you're on top flight radio and I ring you up, will you still talk to me then?
Of course I will still talk to you. I'm not going to leave you hanging for the rest of your life.
So I'll just still be a Rockingham flooring person though.
Yes. But I've got to say, I'm glad that you're enjoying doing the flooring. When I first heard about it, that Tristan told me you were doing the flooring, a part of me felt really interested, and I wanted to ask you about the flooring, to ask you, just before I go, is when you first started doing the flooring originally, how did you first take it? Was it hard?
It was difficult because you had to, although I enjoy talking to people, at the end of the day, I still have to sell them something to make money. That's the hardest bit, is I get some interesting stories. There's some really, really interesting people in this world. And I reckon the flooring shop would be a good bounce off for a television program, because there's so many interesting, some of them you can tell and some of them you can't tell, about catching people still in towels coming out of the shower, and when you turn up to people's houses to...
Do you install them? Is that what you say? You do
I
it?
personally don't.
Yeah.
I have installers that do that, younger, fitter people than me.
Oh, but you have before? Or
No.
You start, or
No, I've always talked.
Oh, but your fitters come back and they're like telling you all these.
Oh no, when
mad
I go and
stories.
measure them, I'll come and measure the room and say, you need
quotes,
25 square meters for this, and
Yes. I got to say, the thing I like about you the most is you seem pretty independent, really comfortable when you talk to people. You don't seem like the kind of guy that's shy.
no, never been shy.
Talk underwater. I like that one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because when you first said talk underwater, that actually did laugh. So I got a bit of the giggles then just when you first said that. So that was a really good understatement. But it's been really good learning about what you're doing. I hope your daughters and your sons Pierce and Will have been enjoying themselves. And I wish, I think, is Pierce the one getting married, or is it Will?
Will is He's the only one that needs to get married now. Then they're all done.
I was going to say, I wish Will the best of luck for getting married.
Thank you. He'll love that.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Great having you on here.
No.
And thank you so much again, Lee, for coming on to the show. Then and again, I hope you didn't mind talking to me and Danny.
Not at all. No, enjoyed it.
For what it's worth, I enjoyed it myself, because there's so much I want to go home and tell my mum now and learn about you.
Lovely.
Anyway, thank you for coming on to the show. I will talk to you soon.
Lovely.
Okay, thank you. Bye, Lee.
Bye-bye.